Live life to the fullest. But what if your life isn't real? We're not talking about a simulation conspiracy theory. We are talking about a post on Reddit where a man was knocked unconscious and claims he dreamed an entire decade. While replying to a question on the Ask Reddit subreddit, a strange story from a now deleted account hints at a life that never was. Please note that I will read it as it is, so apologies for any mispronunciations or awkward phrasing. Let's talk about the strange tale from a dark corner of the web. Throwaway account because this is really personal. My last semester at a certain college, I was assaulted by a football player for walking where he was trying to drive. Note, he was 325 pounds. I was 120 pounds. While unconscious on the ground, I lived a dream life. I met a wonderful young lady. She made my heart skip and my face red. I pursued her for months and dispatched a few jerk boyfriends before I finally won her over. After 2 years, we got married, and almost immediately she bore me a daughter. I had a great job, and my wife didn't have to work outside of the house. When my daughter was 2, she, my wife, bore me a son. My son was the joy of my life, and I would walk into his room every morning before I left for work and doted on him and my daughter. I was living the best life possible. One day, while sitting on the couch, I noticed that the perspective of the lamp was odd, like inverted. It was still in 3D, but just wrong. It was a square lamp base, red with gold trim on 4 legs and a white square shade. I was transfixed. I couldn't look away from it. I stayed up all night staring at it. The next morning, I didn't go to work. Something was just not right about that lamp. I stopped eating. I left the couch only to use the bathroom at first. Soon I stopped that too, as I wasn't eating or drinking. I stared at the lamp for 3 days before my wife got really worried. She had someone come and try to talk to me, but this time my cognizance was breaking up and my wife was freaking out. She took the kids to her mother's house just before I had my epiphany. The lamp is not real. The house is not real. My wife, my kids, none of that is real. The last 10 years of living the life are not real. The lamp started to grow wider and deeper. It was still inverted dimensions and took up my entire perspective, and all I could see was red. I heard voices, screams, all kinds of weird noises, and I became aware of pain, a bleep ton of pain. The first words I said were, "I'm missing teeth," and opened my eyes. I was laying on my back on the sidewalk, surrounded by people that I didn't know, and lots were freaking out. I was completely confused. At some point, a cop scooped me up, dragged me across the sidewalk and grass, and threw me face down in the back of a cop car. I was still confused. I was taken to the hospital by the cop. Seems he didn't want to wait for the ambulance to arrive, and given CT scans and bleep. I went through about 3 years of horrid depression. I was grieving the loss of my wife and children and dealing with the knowledge that this life experience never existed. I was scared that I was going insane as I would cry myself to sleep, hoping I would see her in vivid dreams. I never have, but sometimes I see my son, usually just a glimpse out of my peripheral vision. He is perpetually 5 years old, and I can never hear what he says. Edit. Never thought anyone would read this life story. I changed a line so that it no longer seemed that my 2-year-old daughter bore a child. I have never seen Inception or the Star Trek episodes so many have mentioned, but I will eventually. I will not do an AMA. I've had many PMs describing similar experience while being in a coma, and 3 posters stating which such experience are impossible. I'd say more research needs to be done on brain functions. Pre-med students, don't assume you know everything. A few have asked if they can write a book, screenplay, stage play, rage comic, etc. Please consider this tale open source and have fun with it. Wow, an entire life lived in a matter of seconds. Whether this is true or not, it is compelling and shows us the fleeting nature of life. I hope you liked this video. If so, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe here at Studio Jake After Dark. Don't forget, you can support me in my locals community. The link is in the description. And don't forget to ask, what happens when you turn out the lights?